Blowing you a kiss on Kiss 92 is Maddie, Jason and Arnold in the morning. And with us is date coach Kaiden Tay once again.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning, Kaiden.
Morning. So this is going to be fun. You're going to teach us how to answer awkward personal questions on a date.
Yep. All right, so I categorize awkward questions into two categories. The first one is just plain rude.
Right.
So how do you know whether it's plain rude? Well, these are questions that you wouldn't ask your colleagues.
Okay.
Right?
Like-
Even though you've been colleagues for like many years.
Like,
Oh.
how much you
so
make?
like how much you make, how much you earn.
Okay.
Do you have any like investments that they go deep into like whether you're
Just don't
investing
talk about
in
money
shares?
lah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't talk
yeah.
about money and stuff. When they want to get married.
That's
right?
rude.
But I know some aunties who actually ask
Okay,
all,
yeah.
all the young people when are they getting
I thought
married.
that was just normal for some Singaporeans.
But aunties can get away with it.
Yes, aunties get away with it unless you want to position yourself as an auntie.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
okay.
I can ask for you.
So I've actually heard of this. Like, are you a virgin? Like,
Oh,
guys
that's terrible. You should never ask
actually
that.
ask this.
On a first date?
Maybe not on the first day, maybe second. But
Oh, but what a
these are
jerk.
real questions that people ask. I've heard this
Wow,
before.
really?
Yeah.
You should never ask.
Yeah, you should.
Not
Yeah.
even on your 10th date.
Yeah.
How heavy are you?
How much do you
How
weigh?
tall? How much do you weigh? How tall? Girls ask guys, how tall are you?
Okay.
Very
Yeah.
common.
Yeah.
Around
Oh,
Right.
do you guys take it personally?
Of course we do.
Not
It's
me.
Like us asking you.
I'm
how-
191 cm tall.
I think it
love
depends.
it.
It
Ask
depends.
me. Ask me anytime.
If you're a tall, then, for the guy, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as a girl, if you're not the slimmest girl, and then they ask you how heavy you weigh, that's
Yeah, heavy is
insulting.
cannot lah.
Yeah.
Weight is very
It's
And
like
personal.
if
what
the
you
guy
have
is
a-
not very tall, you ask him how tall are you. It's quite insulting.
Yeah, it can be.
But I've often been asked about my height.
yeah.
But for a girl, it's different. So height is when a girl asks a guy.
yeah. Women are
Has
sensitive
anybody ever
about
asked
height.
you about your weight?
Weight Well,
Don't
I
think
never
so,
dated
lah.
him.
I think the actual number doesn't matter. I mean, if you like what you see, what
Yeah,
matters
it's
what the
true,
number
it's true.
is,
No,
right?
because some guys have this fixation about
The ideal
range.
weight, is it?
Yeah, the range that a
Weight
girl
right.
should be. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The things
Yeah.
to get fixated
So are we still
on.
in the rude category?
Yeah, we are. So
Okay.
anyway, these are some of the rude questions.
Yep.
Again, the gauge is that you wouldn't ask your colleagues this.
Right. Okay.
And what you do is you ignore. All right, so you ignore these questions and you just move on to other
topics.
Yeah, other topics.
Next.
Yeah. No, you don't ignore the guy. Sometimes the guy really has no idea that it's rude.
Yeah.
Right. It's just the way they're made up.
Yeah.
So you ignore and you move on. And if he continues to harp on it, then you just tell him that it's rude.
Yeah. He might just be a rude guy.
He might.
He might just be a rude guy, and then you got to take that
Ignorant.
into
Oh,
account.
I think
Yeah.
But the thing is, rude guys doesn't mean he won't marry you.
That's right. That's right. No, a guy can be a rude guy, and if you can get past that, there might be a heart of gold
Yeah,
underneath,
it's
right?
true, it's true.
I think more likely the guy is ignorant and
Maybe ignorant.
unaware.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Not
true.
well brought up.
Ignorant,
Yeah.
unaware, poor dating skills, but that doesn't mean he's a bad person.
Or it
And-
could just be a sense of fun. Like when we have girls' night out, right? Where Maddie and me and Arnold all go out with the girls, right? I remember asking one group of girls, which one of you has the best looking husband?
I think it's okay though. Yeah.
And we also talk about quite personal
When it comes
stuff.
from you, they're like, yeah, it's Jason. It's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, we'll answer him. But you didn't ask like, hey, which of you is the heaviest?
Yeah, that's true.
That one I would kick you under the table. You know what I'm saying? We're still answering awkward personal questions on dates with our date coach Kaiden Tay. If you have any questions that you've always found it very tricky to answer when you're on a date, text us now 97170-920 and we'll be back with more. You're on Kiss, and with us is our date coach Kaiden Tay, and we are teaching you how to answer awkward personal questions on dates. And early on, we're talking about questions you shouldn't ask because they are very rude.
Yes, and if they ask, just ignore.
Right.
Or just move on.
Yeah.
Alright,
Okay.
So what if just normal awkward questions?
Right.
So how I define awkward is they keep digging into a certain past of yours. They keep asking you where you stay and stuff.
Right.
So what you need to do is to think of stories in your head and how to segue out of it. Right. So some girls that I know, or some clients that I know, are very sensitive about where they stay and where they work.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So if they keep asking me, what I'll do is, I work in Toa Payoh.
Right.
And then they ask you what industry, what do you do? I say, I just love the food in Toa Payoh. What about you?
Right.
Do you love the food around your
But here's
office?
the thing, right, girls? If you plan to go on a date with a guy,
Yeah.
the least you could tell him is what job you do.
Yeah.
And,
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? And where you work. I mean, if not, please don't go out with him.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's
Is
kind
it,
of weird.
is it considered awkward to ask somebody where they live? They think you're going to try to stalk
They
them
do,
or what?
they do.
They think
Yes.
that,
But
huh?
there
Yes.
is
they're trying to stalk them, trying to find out where they stay. They're going to be
Oh.
like some girls have actually had guys do that before, so they are
Oh,
scared.
really?
Yeah.
Because to me, the thing is like, if you go out in Singapore, there's only so many things to talk about. So sometimes you just want to know what neighborhood they live in.
Yeah.
So it's like you can talk about like what's in that neighborhood.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
neighborhood is fine,
But
and
address is not fine.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then after that,
which
you,
block you live in?
Well, most people just
like
want,
which unit?
Yeah, which unit?
But most people just want to know which area because
Which
maybe
area?
he's thinking of sending you home after and he needs to know how far it is from his home.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
know
Or
what I
some
mean?
girls they don't like guys to send them home. Like I said, there are
Yeah.
some girls who have bad experience.
That's right.
So
you
what
gotta be
I-
a bit
yeah.
sensitive.
So what I tell them is to share the area, which is like north, south, east,
Yeah.
west.
That's fine already. Yeah.
And then just immediately change the topic into like food or movies or something. That's
okay,
around
okay.
your place.
So like I live in Tobai and I live there because there's lots to choose from.
yeah. So what about your side? Like
Yeah.
are there
Okay,
good food? And
okay.
you just segue into a food topic.
Right,
But I
right.
think when it comes to job, you know, like if I go out with a guy on a first date, I like to know what you do
Yeah.
for a living.
That's
You know
one
what
of
I
the first things you normally talk
Yeah,
about,
it's true.
right?
It's
Yeah,
true.
you
It's
know.
true.
Unless you work in Geylang.
Yeah, that's right.
mean? Oh yeah, that's your only excuse. Then.
So what happens with jobs, right? Is that people will give their job titles.
Right.
Which is very weird. So I actually spoke with a guy recently and I asked him what does he do. He told me he's a specialist.
Right.
And then I was like,
Specialist for what?
yeah,
Women?
yeah, for what? Like, what do you actually do? Like, how do you value society?
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of people do. They give their their job titles, which don't make sense
When they're
outside
very
of the industry.
evasive, I get
Yes.
suspicious.
Yeah, it's
you know
true.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it makes you very shady.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
was that Sylvester Stallone movie.
What's that?
The
The
specialist.
specialist.
Yeah. The one with Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
Doesn't bode
Okay,
well.
I have a question for you,
Yeah.
Kaiden. So what if, the one of the girl asks or the
Yep.
guy asks,
Yep.
how many partners have you had before? And you've had a lot. I mean,
Okay.
you're a friendly sort of a guy.
Yeah.
You don't want to lie,
All right.
but you don't want to give the wrong impression that
You
you're a
say-
player either, right?
You don't want to know.
Okay, what I usually tell them is don't lie. So if you've got a few, just say a few. But if you have like 20 and above, I think just say a few.
Yeah.
But I prefer and I focus on the girl that's in front of me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just bring the attention back to her.
But I think it's a fair question because you
Really?
want to. I do. I honestly do because either whether it's a guy or a girl, because you want to know what kind of a person is it. If it's somebody who goes through, if it's a guy who goes through girls like shoes,
But that's
then-
guys.
then you want to know. But if it's a girl who goes through,
Guys,
You know, the problem is not going through guys
Hey,
like
hey,
you.
hey.
The
Double
problem
standards.
is when you're still a virgin.
yeah.
All right, when you're 35, you've never dated before.
Oh, that's more of a problem.
Yeah, that's more of a problem because
Yeah.
people expect you to have some experience, but
Yeah.
when you don't have,
It
that's
scares them
weird.
too, right?
Yeah.
Especially for guys.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's-
quite scary.
You don't want to date virgins. It's like too much pressure.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, am I going to be,
Yeah. Like
Okay.
yeah.
Then
yeah.
girls, the answer should be experienced enough. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then go read some books.
No, for girls, right? They'll just say,
Kama Sutra.
I'm okay. Yeah. Like, yeah, I've got
But
a
I
few
do think
boyfriends
I do
before.
think it's reasonable to have some idea about what kind of history the person has with the opposite sex. Honestly,
But maybe
because
later,
it
right?
it tells you sort of what the person is about to some extent. Because if they haven't had a lot of experience, they're one type of person. If they've had too much experience, then they're another kind of person. And if you're getting involved in a romantic relationship, I think it's good to have that information, right?
I suppose.
But you don't have to judge the person. But just so you know, like, okay, now I know where she's coming from.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you need to get to
Well-
a comfortable place before you can ask
Yes,
questions
it's
like that.
true.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
not like the first date.
But I think
Not
you
like
need to be
first date.
careful, right?
Haven't
Because
heard.
what if the person finds out that you hadn't been telling the truth?
Yeah,
That
that's
also
true.
sets you
Allah,
up for some
Yeah.
how
trouble.
would
So
they
don't lie,
ever
don't
know? They will never know. I've been married 10 years. He never knew. What? It's just, I didn't keep it in a book or anything. I have
Maybe
no,
Wes, you don't want to know.
he loves me just the way I am.
She
today.
tells me stuff, you see.
I do not. It's my history that makes me who I am today. And if you like who I am today, then it says enough. Thank you very much.
Okay, man.
I think we should wrap this up, huh? Yes. We've said enough. I've said enough. Thank you so much, Kaiden.
Thank you, everyone.
If there's a topic you want our date coach Kaiden Tay to cover next week, just drop us an email, breakfast@kiss92.sg.
It's Kiss 92's